Coming up next, new information on the massive manhunt for an accused killer after a shooting spree in Maine.
Plus, Palestinian protests in State College are met with pro-Israel counter-protesters.
And a somber anniversary. 5 years ago today, a deadly attack on Jews in Pittsburgh.
It's certainly not a win for anybody. This didn't bring anybody back.
The Center County Report starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Olivia Dunn.
And I'm Cameron Lobley. Thanks for joining us for the Center County Report. We're going to start you off this afternoon with the latest on that tragic mass shooting and manhunt out of Lewiston, Maine. Today, residents are still locked in their homes and schools are closed. Authorities have confirmed at least 18 people are dead following Wednesday's shooting at a bowling alley and restaurant in Lewiston. Right now, hundreds of heavily armed police and FBI agents are searching for the suspect, 40-year-old Robert Card. He's a U.S. Army reservist. People in the area say Card could have the upper hand in the rural wooded areas that he knows well. Much of the last night's search focused on a property belonging to Card's relative. Police surrounded the house but left after several hours.
But Mr. Card is considered armed and dangerous, and police advise that Maine people should not approach him under any circumstances.
Officials say Card recently reported mental health issues and have previously made threats to target a National Guard base.
Today marks 5 years since the Tree of Life synagogue shooting that took the lives of 11 people in the heart of Pittsburgh's Jewish community. Survivors and families of victims say they feel some relief after a federal jury sentenced 50-year-old Robert Bowers to death for the crime. But they also say it won't change what happened.
There's a sigh of relief. Everybody now knows what happened in the building. Everybody now knows that it's adjudicated. It's certainly not a win for anybody. This didn't bring anybody back.
A memorial service set for this afternoon will include a candle lighting ceremony to remember the victims.
Now to the latest on the Israel-Hamas war. The Israeli military says its troops and tanks entered northern Gaza again today, hitting targets ahead of an expected larger ground invasion. The war is now in its 21st day, with Hamas saying 7,000 Palestinians have been killed and Israel reporting 1,400 dead, most who died in those initial Hamas attacks.
Here at home, rallies and protests continue. This week, a protest supporting Palestinians moved through the streets of State College, with pro-Israeli supporters turning out as well. I talked to people on both sides.
As the war rages overseas, sparked by a Hamas attack on Israel, Palestinian supporters here at home are making their voices heard this week. Several Penn State student organizations organized a protest at the Allen Street gates on Wednesday. They displayed signs with messages including, quote, "Gaza will win," and images of bombing victims. Student organizer and Palestinian Ruad Das says protesters have a message for their university.
And that we demand that our university administration take a stance against genocide by expressing their support for a ceasefire now.
Across the street, a silent counter-protest took place. A truck plastered with flyers of Israeli hostages taken by Hamas militants parked on the street. Benjamin Himmel says he sees no sides in this issue, only, quote, crimes against humanity.
I would hope that the greater community gains a sense of empathy for those who are being held hostage and a greater understanding of the situation, more than the headlines they may see in the news.
The protest then moved to College Avenue.
These protesters behind me have begun walking down College Avenue. They have banners, they have signs, they're loud. They're walking right by a truck with counter-protests of different Israelis who have been kidnapped by Hamas.
They continued through downtown and blocked streets before returning to the Allen Street gates. They shouted their support for Palestinians, despite counter-protesters following them with the Israeli flag and one wearing a Make America Great Again hat. Despite the occasional shouting match, the protests remained peaceful.
In a recent statement, Penn State's president said, quote, "We unequivocally condemn the ongoing violence and grieve for the innocent lives that continue to be lost. The fear these atrocities have created is also being felt throughout our university community as well." And Pennsylvania's Governor Josh Shapiro has made a proclamation sharing his public support for Israel and Jewish Pennsylvanians.
The governor has also announced a partnership with Penn State on a different topic, an artificial intelligence project. Reporter Jace Obardo is live in our studio with more details. Jace?
Artificial intelligence, it's a concept that seemed far off, but now it's becoming a part of everyday life and the classroom. Now the governor wants to come up with an AI plan for Pennsylvania with help from a Penn State partnership. In a move to explore the risks and rewards of artificial intelligence across the state, Governor Josh Shapiro is partnering with Penn State. The university's Center for Applications of AI and Machine Learning to Industry, also known as AMI, will partner with the governor's newly established Generative AI Governance Board. Penn State professor and AMI director Sundar Kumara sees the project as an honor, but also a two-way street.
Me as a front end is going to help the university and also to help the PA government. On the other hand, what we learn from there can start movement or momentum at Penn State to perhaps programs or maybe in AI in governance, maybe programs like that.
This partnership reflects Penn State's goal to better understand the changing world of AI. In a press release from the governor's office, Shapiro said, quote, "I signed an executive order to govern the use of generative artificial intelligence and take advantage of the opportunities these new technologies present to ensure our Commonwealth approaches Gen AI responsibly and ethically."
I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Everything I've set up to this point, with a few minor tweaks, was written using Google Bard, just one of the many AI softwares out there that anyone can use. Now, this presents the question of how can a university like Penn State harness these powers to ensure the academic integrity of its students?
For Kumara, using AI for academics can be a positive, but for it to be effective, there needs to be a change in the classroom.
But I think then the role of a teacher becomes different. The role of the teacher is being able to work at a level where he or she or they can use ChatGPT and augment that to what they teach.
The Shapiro administration also partnered with AI experts in private industry and higher education, including Carnegie Mellon University. According to Shapiro, these partnerships will allow Pennsylvanians to better utilize AI tools.
Jace Obardo, thanks a lot. A Penn State fraternity has been suspended for at least 4 years over hazing allegations. The university says Phi Kappa Sigma, known as Skulls, violated a policy with widespread hazing. The fraternity cannot ask for the suspension to be lifted until fall of 2028.
A senior Penn State administrator is expected back in court next week on charges he strangled a woman. Center County Report first reported this story. Keith Brodegam is Penn State's interim vice president for information technology. He's on administrative leave after his arrest in Patton Township on Sunday. He's accused of choking a woman during an argument. She was reportedly injured.
And a Penn State student is charged with secretly filming women as they showered in a Penn State dorm. 24-year-old Jin Yu Lee is due back in court on criminal charges of trespassing and invasion of privacy. The Boalsburg man is accused of recording the women at Hamilton Hall on the University Park campus. His next court appearance is before Judge Casey McLean.
Judge McLean's seat is one of the several positions on the ballot in the upcoming November 7th election. Sophia Montani looks ahead to the election.
Between televised presidential debates and controversial legislative decisions, it's easy to focus on the highly publicized national elections. The 2020 presidential election alone saw 155 million Americans making their way to the polls, with nearly 7 million of those coming from Pennsylvania alone. In Center County, the responsibility of running those national elections falls on the county commissioners, and those roles are on the ballot this November. It's the county commissioners that make spending decisions and distribute funding for the entire county. Amber Concepcion shares it's roles like these which have the most impact on your quality of life.
The people who are making the decisions that influence the kind of environment that you live in. So if you, want to have things be run well, you have to pay attention to who is sitting in those seats.
But it isn't just county positions on the ballot this November, but local positions like College Township Council. These council members oversee everything in the community, from policing to local transportation, things that affect your daily life.
Borough Council member Gopal Balachandran shares how it's these local elections that are the most important elections people can vote in.
How we vote, our democracy, it all comes through local government. Criminal justice issues, Many of it is filtered through local government as well.
Mail-in or civilian absentee ballots are available until October 31st, with polls opening November 7th. Reporting from State College, I'm Sophia Montani for the Center County Report.
While the last day for voter registration was on Monday, you can still find more details on the local elections at centercountyvotes.org.
The Center Film Festival kicks off in just a few days. Coming up, we'll look ahead to the event, including a Hollywood legend getting an award here.
Plus, a project in Bellefonte may impact your drive through town. Also coming up, a local school district lends a helping hand to those in need. See where the public can pick up free clothing and more. Construction in Bellefonte is set to begin soon, and you probably already know what that means. Get ready for some more detours. Parts of East High Street will be closed within the next month. That's because crews will be working to fix retailing walls on the northern side of Center County Courthouse. In the meantime, traffic will be detoured onto North Penn and East Howard Streets. Also in Bellefonte, an open-air venue is one step closer to meeting its fundraising goal. The stage at Talleyrand project requires almost $3 million. Organizers already received a $1 million grant for the project and now just got the green light from the Center County Commissioners to apply for another one.
Mount Nittany Middle and Elementary Schools are teaming up once again for a clothing drive to benefit the community. Next weekend, gently used clothing, shoes, toys, and more are free for the taking in the Mount Nittany Middle School cafeteria. Donations can be dropped off at the middle school next Friday and Saturday. The clothing giveaway begins at 10 a.m. next Saturday.
Center County is set to host a popular event annual made for movie lovers next week, the Center Film Festival. Reporter Jacob Schnurr is live at the State Theater in State College with the story. Jacob, looks like you made your way front and center right there.
Yeah, Olivia, I'm standing in front of this 554-seat auditorium in this downtown State College landmark as we are just 3 days away from the 5th annual Center Film Festival, an event that preaches community and creativity.
Among many local venues, the State Theater will act as one of the hosts for the week-long Center Film Festival. The theater's production manager, Will Jassart, took the time to talk about what he is most looking forward to from the event.
One, getting to see filmmakers, present their film to the community, and then personally getting to watch them. There's a great lineup from what it looks like.
The festival will consist of a wide range of films, from 21 narrative features to 23 documentary features, to an abundance of foreign language films as the crew made diversity a priority.
I think, you could walk into a movie that's in a completely other language, but you'll still have an impact from it and you'll get a message out of it.
It's like people are beginning to realize the whole world that's really behind a film. It's not, films are only a way to tell a story, but what's important is what's in the story.
On top of the appreciation for diversity in the films themselves, the new edition of a Native American heritage track for the month will include an award being given to Indigenous actor Gary Farmer. Also receiving an award is Penn State alum and film producer Jerry Abrams, father of acclaimed director J.J. Abrams.
What's exciting about Jerry coming is that it's really nice, and I think especially notable if you're in Penn State right now, that people still care about the schools they went to.
The festival will kick off on Monday at 6:30 p.m. and run through Sunday, November 5th.
The festival includes more than 50 Pennsylvania premieres and 4 U.S. premieres. Live in State College, I'm Jacob Schnurr for the Center County Report.
Good afternoon, Center County. I'm student meteorologist David Guerrero, and we started off our day in a cloudy way, but thankfully the clouds have dissipated and a beautiful day is ahead of us. But the main story so far for this week was the warm weather. Right now, temperatures are at 70 degrees. Feels like 70, so we are way above average. And what is average? Well, our normal high is at 57 degrees and our normal low is 39. So we're going to expect temperatures at 75 degrees for today. So expect a 15 degree to 20 degree difference from the average. And the warm weather is not only the case for Center County, it is also the case for the rest of the state. As we head to the Erie shoreline, they're seeing temperatures at 72 degrees. Similar conditions in the Great Plateau. Heading south to Pittsburgh, temperatures are at 69 degrees. Then heading east to the Poconos, temperatures are at 71 degrees. Heading south to Allentown, temperatures will be at 63 degrees. Then in Philadelphia, temperatures will be at 71 degrees. It's always sunny in Philadelphia, but the warm weather will not last as an abrupt change of temperatures will come through. More on that later in the forecast, but as of right now in the present weather, cloud cover was present in the morning, but thankfully it will start to dissipate and sunny weather will start to take control. But then clouds will return in the overnight hours. This warm trend will continue, especially into Saturday. Cloud cover will start to increase. Then around the final whistle, we'll see temperatures at 70 degrees. Clouds will also be mostly cloudy for Saturday. But the main story so far is a cold front that will come through. Not only will this bring precipitation, but it'll also bring a drop in temperatures as well. And we'll see a decreasing trend of temperatures that will affect us for the rest of the week. The precipitation should still last until Tuesday morning. Then this low pressure system will then wander off towards the Atlantic. But in terms of the recap, temperatures are at 74 degrees, mostly sunny. Then the clouds will return in the overnight hours, but we should still expect this warm trend, especially for tonight into tomorrow. The cloud cover will also continue. Temperatures will be at 64 degrees right around the tailgate. Then in the kickoff, temperatures will be at 69 degrees, but we will reach 72 degrees, the 70-degree territory right around the final whistle. Then for our 7-day forecast, Sunday, that cold front will come through. That will bring us precipitation for Monday and Tuesday. But I want to mention the decreasing trend in temperatures. We'll see temperatures go back to average on Sunday at 56 degrees, 53 degrees on Monday. Then Tuesday, right around Halloween, temperatures will be at 45 degrees. Olivia, I heard rumors of snow, especially for Wednesday, but I think it'll be a little too warm for snow to develop.
You know, I was really anxious for you to get in today, David, because we were hearing some rumors floating around in the studio before we got in, and I was really hoping that you weren't going to say snow just yet. I hold out for around Christmas time, Thanksgiving. I play my Christmas music immediately after Halloween, so anytime after October 31st, totally fine with me, just not quite yet.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, and it's great to see that we're getting that warm weather going into the weekend, going into that Penn State football game. I know that's going to make the crowd go crazy. We're going to see a great turnout. And actually, speaking of the football game, we're going to throw it over to Destiny Sanchez with sports. Destiny.
Thanks, guys. Coming up next, a busy time for Penn State sports. We have highlights from last night's hockey game at Pagula. Plus, women's soccer gets ready for the Big Ten tournament. And Penn State football is back home tomorrow, trying to regroup after a devastating loss to the Buckeyes. I'm Destiny Sanchez with sports. The Nittany Lions are hoping to bounce back from their first loss of the season. The next chance is tomorrow against Indiana.
There was a lot at stake last week for the Nittany Lions. Fans and critics saw the game as the biggest test so far. With struggles on offense, the Lions suffered a tough 20-12 loss at Ohio State. Coach James Franklin said that the biggest issue was on third downs.
We just didn't have enough opportunities. We couldn't get into a flow. Didn't get enough touches for people. When you have the lack of success that we had on third down, it's hard to get anything going.
Franklin also took the ultimate blame for yet another heartbreaking loss to the Buckeyes.
But at the end of the day, the most important thing is for me to take responsibility and do everything within my power to get it fixed.
Now they'll try to turn the page and move forward to Indiana tomorrow at home. The Hoosiers are 2-5 on the season.
It's to focus on the next opponent, learn from it, which we did on Saturday night, which we did on all day Sunday. But then it's time to move on to the next opponent.
Franklin says the team needs to learn from what it went through last week.
There was tough film sessions, tough conversations, a lot of transparency, a lot of honesty, really good discussion from the entire staff.
Kickoff is set for noon tomorrow, and you can listen to the game live on Penn State Com Radio with our broadcast team in Beaver Stadium. Now let's take a look at some of tonight's high school football matchups. The State College Little Lions take on Chambersburg. Kickoff is tonight at 7 at Memorial Field. The Lions are 5-3 this season. Also, 8-1 Bald Eagle hosts the number 4 ranked Penn Cambria Panthers in Wingate. Kickoff is also at 7. You can see highlights and post-game reaction on After the Whistle at 11:30 on our Belisario Student Media YouTube channel. Penn State women's soccer is preparing to open the Big Ten tournament play this weekend in Happy Valley. The number 4 seed Nittany Lions will face Indiana on Sunday at Jeffrey Field at 1 p.m. The last time these teams faced off, Penn State won 2-0. The Lions are 12-1-4 on the season. Indiana is ranked 24th. And on the men's side, the Nittany Lions wrapped up their home season with a 3-0 win against out-of-conference opponent Detroit Mercy on Wednesday. Now the Lions go on the road for a match against Wisconsin on Sunday. The Big Ten tournament begins a week from today. Penn State hockey is in the middle of a 2-game series against Alaska Anchorage this weekend. The teams met last night at Pegula Ice Arena with number 15 Penn State winning 2-1. The Lions jumped out to a 2-0 lead and then held on for the win. They'll meet again tonight at 7 o'clock. The Nittany Lions are now 5-1 on the season. That's all from me for sports. Back to you guys at the anchor desk.
You know, it's been a really tough week for me, Destiny. Phillies lost, Penn State lost. So looking ahead, we're looking for more W's. Indiana next, 1-0 mentality. Let's do it.
Yeah, same thing. I'm a big Philly fan and Penn State fan, obviously. Those losses, but, you know, I'm expecting a great turnout at the next football game and hopefully high hopes for it. All right, coming up next, what do Penn State athletics and Halloween have in common? It's a sweet one, so make sure to stick around after the commercial break.
It's Halloween weekend, and that means costumes, candy, and cobwebs. Some kids got an early start this week as Penn State hosted a trick-or-treat event. Carly Knowlton reports.
The Penn State All Sports Museum hosted its 14th annual trick-or-treat event this week, inviting families to celebrate Halloween with Penn State athletes while they handed out candy to the trick-or-treaters. The Krantz family attended last year and said they are glad that they could make it again this year.
I really like the fact that sports teams and all the different organizations on campus get involved. It's a nice, safe way to kind of have people down and move like a trunk or treat or something like that. And it's just great to see the university come together.
The Nittany Lion and the cheerleaders were popular throughout the night, along with author Lori Huhazy, who wrote the new children's book, Nittany and Me.
Everybody is enthusiastic to be a part of it. The athletes love coming out and doing this. The families appreciate the opportunity to kind of mix and mingle with the athletes. My staff has a great time, sort of planning this and putting it all together.
If your kids didn't have a chance to snag some candy yet, don't worry. The Center Region's official night is Halloween on Tuesday.
If you're like me and you enjoy trick-or-treating, the State College Borough and Bellefonte will be having trick-or-treat hours from 6 to 8 p.m. on Tuesday.
In University Park, I'm Carly Knowlton for the Center County Report.
And if you're looking for another fun event, the annual Halloween Costume Parade in State College happens on Sunday at 7 p.m. downtown.
Oh my gosh, that looked like so much fun. We had Carly out there in the costume and everything.
And she matched. She had the same suit and her devil ears. They matched perfectly. Amazing. Yeah.
All right, lots going on for this Halloween weekend. That's going to do it all for today's newscast. We hope you'll join us Tuesday for our next local news update.
But you can follow us anytime for breaking news on our Center County Report X, and you can see our stories on our Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube, and our website. Have a great afternoon.